Imagine for a moment you're sitting in a quiet cafe in Scotland in the year 1928. The weather is gloomy, the kind that actually makes you crave for something so refreshing. So you decide to order a bottle of ginger beer. Simple, harmless, refreshing ginger beer. You take a few sips. Everything feels normal. Then boom, the rest of the drink is poured out. And then suddenly, a decomposed snail slides out of the beer. Yes, you heard me right. A decomposed snail. Can you imagine? Just take a deep breath and then think about it again. Yeah, you heard what I said. A decomposed snail. A snail. Yes, a snail came out of the bottle. Can you imagine? Okay, so while this snail came out, do you know what happened next will actually shock you? Because what follows isn't just nausea or shock or anything else. What follows is a legal revolution. I'm talking about a court decision that will shape and reshape, actually, it will reshape tort law, consumer protection, and negligence across the entire common law world. It is a case that actually revolutionized the whole law of tort in terms of negligence. And this is no other case than the case of Donoghue versus Stevenson. Yeah, I bet if you're a law student, you might have heard this case over and over, because when you're doing the law of negligence, you come across the case. Now, welcome once again to my page. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe. This is your cue to subscribe, like, and then share to others so they can also benefit. So yes, like I said, this is the case that reshaped the whole thing. It was just one snail actually reshaped everything, the entire course of the entire dimension of the law of tort on negligence. So that is it. So we would be talking about this case of Donoghue and Stevenson, how it happened, but the entire 9 yards, the whole 9 yards of the case, the impact it had, and everything. And so let's dive right into it. So yes, our main character is Mrs. May Donoghue, an ordinary Scottish woman with no legal training, no powerful connection, no idea that she would one day be mentioned in the law textbooks across the world. One afternoon, Mrs. Donoghue visited a cafe in Paisley, Scotland, with a friend. Her friend bought her a bottle of ginger beer manufactured by Mr. David Stevenson. Okay, now, the detail is very, very important. So, the details, like I said, very, very important. So, the ginger beer came in an opaque glass bottle, right? You couldn't see through it. So there was no way of knowing that there was a decomposed snail inside. There was no way of knowing it. Mrs. Donoghue drank part of the ginger beer. Nothing seemed wrong at first. But when the remaining contents were poured out of the glass, a decomposed snail came out. And this actually gave her some sort of vomiting and all of that. You can imagine how it will make you feel. And so, yeah. So soon after, Mrs. Donoghue fell seriously ill, vomiting and all of that. So she suffered from severe stomach ache and a whole lot, nausea, shock, emotional stress. Naturally, she wanted someone held responsible. But can she sue? That was the question. Could she sue actually? That was the main question. But she really wanted to hold somebody responsible. But the law at the time created a major obstacle. Under the traditional legal rule at the time, you could usually only sue somebody for negligence if there was a contract between the two of you, if you were parties to a contract. And so that was the problem. So Mrs. Donoghue actually did not buy the drink, her friend did. Therefore, there was no contract between her and the manufacturer. Legally speaking, there seemed to be no contract at all, no duty or no compensation. At least that was what the old law said. But then, despite the obstacle, Mrs. Denowu refused to accept the injustice and so sued. So she sued, and then the case went to the House of Lords. That was the highest court at the time, the House of Lords. And then the House of Lords, okay, at this point, it is your cue to subscribe, share, like, and then leave a comment as to what you think and everything. Please engage. We need engagements on the video, and so this is your cue to subscribe and share and like. Okay, let us continue. So, like I was saying, the House of Lords actually made a pronouncement. Like I said, at the time, the law did not favor you if you had no contract with anybody. But you see, there was this man, this judge at the time named Lord Atkin. He was the one who took up the thing and then said, oh no, hell no, it is not going to work that way. And so he actually brought the neighbor principle, because he felt that you must have owed your neighbor a duty of care. So Lord Atkin actually brought about the neighbor principle. That's the famous neighbor principle. And he actually explained who your neighbor is in law. He said, let's break it down. Let's simplify. Lord Atkin was saying that if you can reasonably foresee that your actions might harm somebody, and that person is closely affected by what you do, then you owe them a duty of care. No contract is required. This was actually revolutionary. For the first time, the law recognized that responsibility can exist outside contracts. And so you didn't have to have contracts with a person before you can even sue the person or claim that the person ought to have seen that, or the person ought to have had you within their contemplation, that you are their neighbor in law, and so they should actually do things right in order not to harm you, the consumer. And so with that reasoning, the House of Lords held that the manufacturer owed a duty of care. The duty extended to the ultimate consumer. Mrs. Donald could sue at the time, as per how they held later. One small snail had broken a massive legal barrier. Can you imagine? This case became the foundation of the law of negligence, product liability, and then consumer protection. Law of negligence, product liability, and then consumer protection. Manufacturers could no longer hide behind contracts. Manufacturers could no longer hide behind, we do not have contracts with you. There is no contract between you and I, and all of that. From that moment on, it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. Now let's bring this closer to home. Think about your daily life. Okay, for a moment. You buy food from restaurants, you order products online, you use public transport, you visit hospitals, you use mobile apps, etc. In almost all these situations, Donoghue and Stevenson protect you. If a company's carelessness causes harm, they can be held liable, even if you never signed a contract. The principle is applied in daily lives and also in courts daily around the world, including Ghana. Now, and here is where it gets very interesting, okay? It applies to online sellers, social media influencers, bloggers, content creators, digital service providers, etc. It goes on and on. So if you are negligent, or if you negligently give advice, sell fake products, or spread harmful misinformation, the law can catch up with you. The same principle born from a snail in a bottle now applies to WhatsApp messages, applies to Instagram ads, applies to TikTok promotions, applies to YouTube content, the whole 9 yards. And so there is nothing like somebody is excluded from liability because the person is an Instagram influencer. No, it doesn't work that way. The law is saying that it can extend and catch up with everybody who is a manufacturer or somebody who has product that is supposed to reach the ultimate consumer. And so, Donoghue and Stevenson, a case that started with a decomposed snail, just a tiny little snail, has actually brought about a revolution that has changed the entire face of the law of tort on negligence. And so, here are some facts to actually lock in. You should lock this in actually, so that you would know what this case entails properly. You always remember. So let's lock in these facts. 1, take note that the bottle was opaque. It was an opaque bottle. And then this actually was critical to the judgment. 2, the case was decided in 1932. 3, it was the cornerstone of the law of negligence in tort law. 3, it is Ghanaian courts rely on this principle regularly. 5, almost every negligence question starts here. If you understand Donoghue and Stevenson, you understand the starting point of negligence, and that's just a fact. It started with a decomposed snail and everything. Every law student should know this case. It is very, very important. So, the beauty of this case is actually its simplicity, because no corporations, no billionaires, no complicated transactions, just a woman, an ordinary woman, somebody who had no legal background or anything whatsoever, just a woman, a drink, a snail, and a bold idea about responsibility. It reminds us that law exists and then protects the people, and so we need to treat the people with caution, and also we need to protect the people. The law needs to protect the people, and we need to take responsibility for our own actions. Thank you very much. And so always remember that the revolution of the law of tort on negligence started with this case. And so if you actually benefited, if you actually found this video educating, please subscribe, like, and then share. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.